All right, video number 3. Okay, so now you've done your research. You've kind of honed in the idea that you want to run with. You're being realistic. You've looked at the market in your area for it. You've checked Facebook Marketplace. You've Googled looking for these services, products in your area, and you kind of have an idea of how viable it is, what people are charging for that kind of stuff, and now you're ready for the next step. Next step, if it's a service industry, likely it's going to be buying equipment. Okay. My big thing is, man, no debt. No debt. And if you can't do it without getting into debt, wait. And I'll tell you, there's lots of ways you can skin a cat on this. So you want to open a lawn business. Okay. Super simple. Yeah, you can go out there and finance 3 zero-turns, 3 trailers, weed eaters, edgers, commercial blowers, a new truck, all this stuff. And you're going to have all the stuff you need, and then you're going to need some employees for all that equipment you've just bought. And what you end up with is a mess, okay? Because then you're going to have an overhead. You've got this bill for this new truck. You've got this bill for this loan you've taken out for equipment, okay? And so you've got to at least meet that every month. Well, you're going to find out in business that, man, you got to manage your money and you got to be smart. So there may be months where you're booming, and I've had a month where it was nothing but rain. So for my service industry, that put me out for an entire month where I sat at the house, and you know what? It was nice because I didn't have payments. I didn't have all this stuff. I didn't have the craziest equipment you can get. I had what I could afford, and I didn't have that glooming payment. I don't have employees. So I don't have all those concerns, but that's how you start it small, build the foundation of this thing, and start building it as you go, doing other stuff. So I think I've officially been in business for a year now. It's going pretty well, but I've had to learn these things the hard way. Not the debt stuff. I avoided that, thank God. But I would just say, avoid the debt. All right, so that same scenario. You want to open up a lawn service and start doing that. Okay. What kind of vehicle do you have? Can you make it work? If you've got a truck, great. If you don't have a trailer, okay. Do you have a push mower at your house? Dude, I'm telling you, as simple as it sounds ridiculous. If you're in that scenario, do what you can do. Go get a push mower. If you've already got one, great. If you've got a weed eater, great. If you've got a blower, great. And then go start offering that service. You make that business start paying for the equipment. You don't do that out of your pocket, okay? Now, if you've got the extra cash and you want to start out with the zero-turn and a trailer, cool. Make the investment, Spend up to $5,000 getting into that and then start making that money, but recoup your money, okay? And let that business start paying for itself. If not, you're going to get swallowed up by this thing. So keep it really simple. I've looked into several businesses, and it's the same across the board. You want to get into vending machines. You can go out and spend bukus of money on vending machines. You can spend with services that will set you up with locations to do all this stuff. Guess what? You can also go buy that used equipment. You can outfit it with a card reader, and you can do it for the third of the price. And then you can call businesses and find out which ones are going to let you come make a deal with them to put your machine in their facility and start making money. Guess what? You start making revenue. You do that 2 or 3 times. Now you're buying new equipment with the business's money, and now you're making more money. Okay? Make it pay for itself. Like the washaterias and laundromats, stuff like that. Hey, you know what? That comes out to about $800,000 investment. If you're going to go in and you're going to go 30 machines deep on have everything plumbed, have all the electric done, buy all brand new machines, and have everything you need to set off and go, $800,000 is about where that market's at. Okay. Well, now it can vary. It could be 500 to 800. Okay. But you have that looming payment. And if you're not making it, and guess what? In the first 3 months of any business, I can promise you there's going to be a dip. You might have a good month, but you're going to have a bad month. It's going to happen. And that's how these small businesses go out so quick. So on the alternative, with that same business, and again, I'm not doing it, but I did some research because I was just interested in it. That same business, I found that you can go out and you can buy used equipment. You can start out with about 10 to 15 units, buy them used, pay 11 grand, find a cheap lease on something like that. Doesn't have to be the fanciest building. You want to target location where there's a need. Those things are important, but you can find an affordable lease. You can start that, and you can be in this business for $25,000, $30,000, and then let it, guess what? We're back to the same thing. Let it pay for itself. And you start upgrading the equipment. You start upgrading that stuff. I know that there is something to starting a new business and wanting all the best stuff and wanting the customers to have the best service. Guess what? You can provide a solid service with what you can afford, and you can build up to whatever you want to make it. Whatever you want to make it. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. Avoid debt at all costs. Start accruing the equipment that you need or work with what you have. Okay? There's nothing saying you can't go out and do a little physical labor. Now, if you're doing products, stuff like that, what I would say is you're going to have to, that's going to fall back on your research. You're going to already know this if you follow the first step. With that stuff, if you want to be a dealer for us, you have to put in a minimum $10,000 orders. That's a common thing. And you're buying the equipment up front and then you sell it, you recoup your money. If you don't have that, don't do it. Okay? Start differently. Look into how you can get those products without paying the upfront cost or as much of it, and call these companies, talk to them, tell them your position. Hey, I'm going to start being a dealer and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to promote it online. I told the dealership that I was dealing with, I'm doing some land services and stuff. I'm going to pump this stuff out on Facebook Marketplace. I use y'all's products and I want to sell some of your products. Boom. No big deal. But figure out what that needs to be. Don't get in over your skis on this stuff, and don't finance any of it. Don't do any of that. I don't care if you say, oh, I've got a 0% interest. Don't start your business that way. Okay. There are some, once you're established, yeah, there's some benefits to doing some of that stuff. Some people like doing that. I don't like that. But you can do it, make it work. But you need to see what your business is doing for a year, in my opinion, before you start getting heavily involved in a lot of that stuff. Because at the end of the day, you got a payment, you got insurance, you've got to pay for your books. Some of you are gonna be paying for a CPA, bookkeeping, all that. I'll get into bookkeeping, that kind of stuff on the next video. But just food for thought. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe for this stuff if this is something you're interested in.